Hey YouTube, in this video we keep getting sent to the Garden of Joy, which is a really good map for survivors, but thanks to the night and our unique playstyle, I think we were able to scrape together two very exciting matches for you guys. I hope you like how they turn out. We're going to explain our build, which is my no gen defense night build that I've been using to great success. The main idea of it is that we can fundamentally change how we play the night. Instead of just dropping guards at pallets whenever survivors drop them, instead we actively hunt down survivors with our guards by dropping the guards in front of the survivors while they're running. To help us doing this, we have two add-ons. Call to Arms, which increases the length of the patrol path by 10 meters, and when creating the path, the movement speed is increased by 25%. This allows us to catch up to survivors and move faster than them every time we move with the patrol path. And by listening to survivors, we're almost be able to move our guards like Spirit and drop them directly on top of them, so they run into the guard and it instantly starts a very quick chase, which is very good for us. To help them out in chase, we have the dried horse meat, which increases the amount of time a guard will hunt the survivor for 4 seconds, which has some hilarious implications. For example, my favorite use of this is to drop a can effects on a gen that someone's working on. The can effects with this add-on will be chasing the survivor for about 30 seconds. Getting hit off the gen and being chased for 30 seconds is absolutely incredible and manages to get you some almost gen defense without even needing a gen defense perk, which is really good for us. This help us out with the destruction that our guards going to be doing. We have a bunch of aura reading perks, and perks allow us to play into a very particular playstyle by compiling on snowballing when it comes to slugging and downing survivors. To start this off, we have Sloppy Butcher, which when hit by a basic attack, the survivor will gain the hemorrhage and mangle status effects. Furthermore, they will lose 25% faster healing progression whenever their healing is interrupted, which is brilliant for us, because what this means is that we can pair this with Nurse's Calling. Any survivor within a 28 meter range of us will be visible, and to make it even better, the maximum distance we can send a guard is 32 meters, which means any survivor within 28 meters of us is going to have their healing interrupted, which means that survivors start healing together. To make it harder for survivors to heal and find each other, we've got Fearmonger, which puts the survivors of blindness and exhausted status effects whenever they're working on a gen, which is also great for when we ambush the gen with our guards and then go onto it. It means that we can remove sprint bursts, lives, and even dead hards, which is fantastic for the night. As one of the things that really gets us is when survivors manage to dead hard the guards' attack, and then can make some insane distance on us. Fearmonger also means that it's going to be harder for survivors to find each other, find where the hook is, and even pick each other up when they've been slugged. And to give us some more information when kicking the gen, we've got Nowhere to Hide, an amazing perk, and I absolutely love it. Whenever we damage a generator, we reveal all the survivors' auras within 28 meters of us. And as you already know, those 5 seconds, we can send the guard directly onto them and start a chase. With this build, you'd have a lot of fun just meticulously picking off the survivors that you want, knowing how to play your slugs, how to play your hooks, because you're able to then, with this build, you are able to chase 2 survivors at once and even down them. If you can have a situation where everyone's injured and you drop a guard where they're going, you can have one guard chase one survivor while you chase the other. This can completely throw off a team when half of their teammates aren't doing anything for a large majority of the match. And I hope you guys enjoy the matches that we have on display for you today. And as always, have a great day. I decided to add some commentary onto the first game, just to give some insights into what I was thinking, and maybe even give some tips of how I could do better, or how you guys could do better playing the night in the playstyle that I use. The first thing that I like to do is try to scout where survivors could be on the first few gens. I'm not very good at knowing where these survivors spawn on most of the maps, but I'm slowly getting there. And with this as well, we can even ambush people on the gens and get some very good pressure, especially if they started touching the gen, as I said, with Fearmonger. As we learn here, the survivors start in the actual main building. If that guard had been placed a bit better, we even could have caught them going out of it. That's a pretty good thing to learn. As we see here, we injure the Leon, he has Sloppy, and we can then listen to him and then drop the guard where he's going. And see that, we've instantly got another chase with Leon, and with the haste effect of night, we can then catch up. This is very good, it basically pins these survivors between us and them. Leon manages to actually get hard Knight's guard, which is something that we have to look out for. If I had better reactions, I actually could have hit the Leon straight after. But with DOS, we can get a very nice clean hit on Leon and get our first down, which was relatively quite quick. The gen hasn't popped yet, and we see some people hovering around, listening around us. So we know that there are people around, and we know that all of them are around that gen. We get a gen to get to know the high value, and we see that there's a Michaela right here. We drop a guard in the area. The Michaela should have heard this, but now we have the jailer who has a very, very long time in the area trying to do that. I did a tiny bit of a proxy, and we see the Michaela here. Give her a little nod. We try and loop this. We know that no one can go for the save, and we actually know when they do go for the save, which is fantastic. Obviously, when someone does go for the save, the guard disappears. We get a hit on the Michaela, but Michaela sticks to the loop. Here, we actually do a misplay. I initially made the first correct read to go around the outside. I double backed, and then I just lose my brain thought and just drop the guard here. If I had have actually committed to my first read of where she would go, we actually could have gotten another hit on the Michaela, maybe even gotten her chased. But we can now go and focus on this gem. Unfortunately, I don't actually notice that the Jill was there, which is a shame. What we do get is more information on the Michaela, who is injured, and she is right here. I decided to push her this way around, so that she then goes back into the guard, and we wanted her to basically not really get to the window. And we get a hit here. Knowing that there are survivors around though, such as the Jill, I decided to drop a thing here, and there we go, Leon's back in. Unfortunately, when you hit a survivor, the guard disappears, which is a shame, but to be honest, that just causes a lot of things. We start to drop another guard there, and we see Leon still hovering. So we think, maybe we should just push the Leon a little bit, just to get him to go away. And we do see no one else, and we lost a jet. But to be honest, 2 hooks at the very beginning for Leon to hit there, and Leon gets hit by the Canifax. Which I was saying is a very, very long chase time. Leon's looking for about 30 seconds of getting chased. And because of that, we know that he will still be around that area, which is very, very good for us. Especially as Leon is one of the survivors already hooked, we can get a very, very nice, clean second hook on him. We don't want him to dead hard, but once again, he grabs the flag and gets some distance. If I had been a bit quicker, we maybe could have gotten him before that. But he is injured, and we get the hit through the window, we cannot dead hard that, which is very, very good for us. So we have our third down and our third hook, which is one of the Leons. I think this might have actually been a different Leon, which is a shame. I didn't really want to hook the Leon near the house, so I tried to look for some other hooks, but there weren't any. Which means we have to hook him here. Which means if he does get hit, we can just run back into the house. And lucky for us, we got the right Leon, which is fantastic. We go to check here to see if survivors are healing, and they are. With nurses calling, very good information. We can drop a guard directly on them, and then start a chase with 2 different survivors. Unfortunately, we get stuck, which is a shame. And Michaela runs directly at us and gets downed. So we think, let's just pick up the hook there. We know that there are survivors in the area, namely that Leon. So now we have some decent pressure going on. We have 2 hooks at the exact same time, and that Leon's ticking down. And we see that the other Leon is here. And we don't get this, which is a shame. But we know he's going to be going from the Michaela for the on hook. So we can get a hit on him. And maybe even get a second. But now we have a situation where we have 2 survivors injured, and we are very, very close by. Here we're waiting out for dead hards, and we finally get it. We see that Michaela probably is going to be staying around the area, so we listen out for her to try and figure out where she is. And hopefully get a good chase into her. I think we miss, and thanks to that we actually manage... Oh, and we got a flashlight safe. But we actually managed to stop them going for that hook, which is fantastic. And now we have the Michaela being chased, and we have the Leon. 2 survivors injured, which is fantastic. And we have Leon going into the house. I know for a fact there is a very, very powerful window in this house. And I decided to think that maybe we should push that window first, just in case. But Leon probably saw that and is now going to loop round to the god pallet, which is fine, because it's very, very good to get that out of the way. We also have the Michaela slugged from that guard, which is fantastic for us. Unfortunately, the game wouldn't let me break the pallet straight away. It might be a weird input thing. And given the fact that Leon's going back into the house, we decide to follow him in here. And we lose another gen, but we know that which we know is the Jill. I know she has to be picking up that. So we go around here to find Leon. Leon's running down here, so we drop the guard to block off that place for him to go. Which pushes him back into the loop. And then we get the peak. Unfortunately, my absolute monkey brain activates, and I can't hear where Leon is. So we do a little roundy round. And we know that Michaela's just been picked up, which means that no one is on a gen right now, which means that the other 2 gens in the map right now that need to be completed have 0 progress. And we can once again get this Leon. I decided to push him further away from the house, as I don't want to deal with that again. The house is very, very powerful, in case you guys don't know. There's a YouTuber called Tato Head, if you guys ever check him out. And he does some very, very good map guides. Because we know that this top gen had some progress on it, we decided to check it out again, because they may have pushed it. and we know that has no progress. And we have a slight 3-gen in this corner of the map, maybe because we've had a lot of chases going around here. This basically means that we can effectively patrol our 3-gen, which is very, very powerful for Knight to do. We can try and get a few hits from that. We see here that while the Michaela was being chased, he actually dropped the guard, which is... guard? No, sorry. She dropped the pallet, which is very, very good for us. That's another thing about the Knight's guard. If survivors don't have windows to get to, they will end up dropping pallets just to escape the guards. And depending on how quick the guards chases, they can do that. I really wish that the guards had slightly better pathing to maybe avoid going around pallets. But here we have again another bit of Nurse's Calling value. We dropped the guard there. Leon is hit. And we know that Michaela's there. If I'd gone around the other side of this building structure, we could have actually blocked in the Michaela. And I considered doing it again before just committing to the hit. I decided to do that. We want someone go into our POW to track where she's gone. We know she's heading up there. But she moved to the side, but the Jailer has an extra range on his patrol. Which means that we actually managed to get a hit on the Michaela, which is fantastic. Thank you, Jailer. As you can see here, you can actually very, very consistently get hits on the guard if you're not just dropping the guards on the pallet. And we see Leon behind us being very, very sneaky. We decide to go back there. We already have a kill on the Michaela. 2 kills already very, very quickly, which is mainly because we tried to focus the survivors that we knew we had hooked already. Leon tries to do a little bit of juking, which is fine. And then we get back to probably my favorite loop in this game as Survivor. We decide to follow him out here, and we know he has to go down that route there. Because we can then drop the guard directly on him, and now he's got a can effect on him for the next 30 seconds of his life, which must be terrifying. And we see here he's trying to go into main buildings. We decide to go around this structure here in order to block him off. And the Califax is still chasing. At this point, I kind of think to myself, maybe I'll just let the Califax deal with it. As I was protecting him to maybe vault that window to get out of it. And we see the Califax can actually hit him. And we see here that he can't. We just... a little bit, not too much. But we did get a pallet out of it, which is very, very useful for us. Because we slowly but surely create a bit of a dead zone around some of the stronger loops in this game. And because we know that Leon only has one way around this corner of the map, we can listen out for him, drop the guard, and hopefully get another hit onto him, which we do. And Leon just runs directly into our arms, just pinned between us and that guard. There's not really any places he can go. Which is another very, very strong utility of this killer. Instead of dropping the guards at the pallets, where the survivors can just run away, with this we can actually pin these survivors properly. Stuffing up the boon, as you always have to do, to stop them from healing faster. Especially as people sometimes like to run the boon with the other boon, which means that you can't see the auras and scratch marks of survivors, which throws us off quite a lot. But we see here, the survivors, despite the fact we had no gen defense, because we were able to get some very, very quick downs and snowball off injures, we were able to actually prevent a lot of the gems from being done, which is fantastic. We have the 1 gem being done on this map, and it barely has any, so we can just stop that. As you know, we have to go here. We have to go back to the Leon, as that's the hook pressure that we have. We might even get some Nurse's Calling value, we'll have to see. And we do. Fantastic. As you can see, Nurse's Calling is really, really good. You can just do that. And unfortunately, the guard ends up clinging onto Leon, which means that we have no information where the other survivor is. They must have run. So unfortunately, we are doing a slight tunnel on Leon, which is a shame. But there are 2 survivors left. And so at that point, there's not really much that we can do. Leon gets hit, which is fantastic. Now we have to look out for his dead hard. He has towards this pallet. We assume he's going to drop it out of panic. And we can just go around it, which is very, very nice for us. We wait for Leon to start to do the pallet. How'd you say? Start to vault the pallet, which means he can't dead hard, and then we can just grab him off it. It's very, very good. It's something that you can look out for. It also works when survivors go off hook. And thanks to the can effects, we get a very, very quick pallet drop. Sorry, it's weird to talk and watch my gameplay. One interesting thing about this, which I haven't really utilized, is the fact that while it makes sense to kick a gen with the Canifax, if there are survivors working on that gen and it's nearly completed, you can actually make the choice to hit the gen with the Jailer or the Assassin. As they take longer to kick the gen, survivors can't actually work on the gen that has a guard on it. Which means that you can actually, you know, buy yourself that 5% regression by the guard, as well as stopping the survivors from doing a gen for about 6 seconds. We have our second map from Garden of Joy, once again sent there again as I was saying before. So once again, the first thing we do, we spawn by the house this time, which means that we know that we won't be coming out of that main building. So we decide to check on some of the gens, and hopefully we get a bit lucky. Laying out the guard into the gen. There's no one around here. I always like to move the guards a bit further away from the gen, just so that we can maybe get a bit of, how'd you say, just a bit more distance and maybe even get that extra thing. The main thing that really sucks at the beginning of the game is actually trying to find survivors. I'm always very, very bad at doing that. We see that there's survivors on this gen, and now I know in the future to go to this gen straight away. We drop that there just to stop the Nia. We also know someone else is working on that gen, so we drop that to basically get 2 people in chase and get her off it. Nia does a very, very nice pre-drop. The main survivors do, and then just keeps running forward. She tries to do a 360. Don't know why survivors keep doing that. They probably watch too many YouTube montages. And we actually get a hit on the LED, which is fantastic for us. Then we have 2 survivors injured for very, very little. We know that she's going to pre-drop that. We just drop the guard straight away to catch her out. And with that, we can get that hit and get rid of a very, very strong pallet, which is fantastic. Sometimes it pays to know which survivors you actually want to chase after with the guards, and which survivors you just want to drop the guard straight away. We see that LED has got rid of her mend, and she should be healing pretty soon. Maybe we can find out where she is. And straight away, we found Ada over here. Same thing here. We managed to miss that. We decided to go straight back to the hook in order to stop someone from going for the on-hook, as Ada stays over there. We see that there's Nia all the way over here. So we drop this guard, hopefully trying to catch her out, and it just misses. I mean, look at that. If that would have hit on the Califax, that would have been a 30-second chase on that Nia, which would have been fantastic. Try to do a little bit of a fancy wiggle on that. We now have 3 survivors injured, which means LED must be hitting a gen somewhere while injured. We decided to do this just to get a line of sight of these survivors, just so that we can better predict where they're going to be going. What I should have done here is actually just drop the guard straight away before that window vault, and then try to predict where she's going to be going. You drop that there. Hopefully, yep, just in range to do that. You can also do this when survivors drop pallets. And we see that someone's on this gen over here. And it is our friend, the Nia, who actually finally gets a good 360. But she decides to go for a second one. And we think maybe I can block the pallet, but I don't. It's a shame. If we had to block that pallet, we could force her to take that window. It would have been really, really good for us. And we see here we have about 2 hooks, I'm fairly sure, and 2 gens have been done, which is very, very typical what's going to happen when you're not running gen defense. So instead, it's very much on us to try to hit very, very consistent guard hits and to get very, very quick chases, which is fine. We can manage that. We can kick this gen over here. They even break this pallet and go back to that hook. We see that there are no ores around us, which is fantastic. That means we can then push into this and then go over there. And we see someone injured over here, and this is where the fun really, really begins with Night. We're listening out for where she's going. We get a bit stuck, that's fine. We can drop that guard and hopefully get that. Now we have a survivor being chased. We have Nia being hit here. Nia finally goes for save. Unfortunately, behavior decides I'm actually going for the person on the hook, which is fantastic for us. And Nia does probably the death hunt of the century right there. Now we have Energy being chased. Energy's probably got a bit of PTSD from those guards. And we can do that. Unfortunately, the guard doesn't get the hit, which is unfortunate for us. What can we do? I'm fairly sure Michaela went to that gen up behind us. We decided to maybe push to where the energy could be because we haven't gotten a hook on her yet. It would be very, very nice. And we see here that we had a deliverance play, which is very, very big for them. What it does mean is that a lot of people can be very, very injured. It might have not actually been deliverance. We saw that the Ada was here. It may have been renewal, where you start off broken and then in 20 seconds you heal. But we'll have to see. But here we have our friend Ada. We let Ada take that loop there, and it was a very, very good life play. I was looking out for that just in case, and we hadn't seen her dead hard before. She tries doing some 360s, doesn't really matter. And we get another hook on the Ada. So I'm fairly sure it's on her second hook, which means we have one person already going on to death hook. We had Nia who was already hooked, which means that we have 2 potential survivors that we can go after to get the most amount of progress. When we hear a survivor going behind us, we stay still and look just in case. And she decides not to go for the unhook for some reason that I will never be able to explain. While looking out for Dead Hard, I decided to swing and she goes for the window to see if she could bait it. I've seen some very, very good survivors do that. They run towards the window, they bait it, and then do that. Seeing that no one's going for the unhook and I can't see anyone else, we decided to pick up this survivor and go on a hook. As we're going to have 2 hooks very, very close to each other, we can actually get some very good progress. If that Nia had waited, she actually could have gone to Palestine here, which would have been fantastic for her. Then we see the Nia. We managed to get a hit. Nia doesn't go for the save, unfortunately. But she does drop a pallet. Unfortunately, behavior once again decided that I was hitting the person on the hook. Now we have everyone injured, which is what we want. We see two people running down this way, which means our guards can be very, very effective. We can just drop them and do that. And we see someone healing on this pallet, which probably means we're about to get another pallet out of them. And we'll see if that guard does actually get onto anyone. It doesn't. I should have gone around the right side of that loop there. She can actually chain that window again. She decides not to, which is very, very good for us. You might have thought that would be a double back. We're just waiting for that dead card while she's spinning around us. Spin around with her, why not? Unfortunately, that guard didn't do it, which means that Michaela must have gone into the main building or had gone to the right, seeing that we were going to be sending the guard over there. Which is why it's always very important to listen out to where these survivors are going, instead of just doing a pure predict. But if that prediction would have worked, we would have had some very, very good times. We have both Nias, I think, are on their second hook, and the Michaela is on death hook. I don't think we have a Michaela. I think I've just been looking at Elodie and thinking it was a Michaela the entire time, but that's fine. We know someone's on this gen over here, so we drop the guard just ahead of it. And we see that it's our friend, the Nia. There was just too many of them. We decide to hit the guard, which goes to the pallet. Now we can do the exact same thing, just sending the guard down that trail. And we decide not to. I'm trying to think of why. It was probably just because we could catch up to her pretty easily. I was thinking about waiting for someone to get the unhook and leaving them slugged in order to confirm that death hook on that survivor. Then we can send the guard over there to stop them from doing it. And we see Ada over here. To say that was just the game's way of rewarding me for not just camping that hook. We should send the guard all the way over there, just in case that they are healing. And we do hear it we do hear them running for a moment, but we didn't have time to really change our action. We decided to go for Ada. I tried doing a cheeky hit on the pallet here, but I messed up completely. I should have gone backwards and hide my red stain. But we got the pallet out of the way. And we have the guard going up. We can break these pallets over here. It's very, very good for us. Our main fear here is the last gen popping. It will probably be that one. So right now we need to basically go for what is effectively an all-out slug. Or just trying to get some very, very quick downs back to back to back. You see that survivors are going over here. A survivor on the gen. So we have 1 of 3 targets that can actually get hit. We decide to leave this survivor here. And kick the gen, know that someone else is around here in the area. And we do indeed find them. All of our beautiful injured survivors. We decide to not hit Ada so that the Califax keeps chasing her. And now we can focus on these two survivors over here. And hopefully we can maybe get even 2 down. She decides to run into us in dead hard, but we've already seen way too many survivors do that. We decide to maybe pressure this one. But I'm fairly sure that we end up leaving it. Maybe we get the hit. Up, I thought she might actually vault and double back. But she dead hard, very, very good for us. If we had a bit more recovery, we could have done that. And now we know that they're probably healing. And thanks to Nurse's Calling, we can see them from the side of my periphery. We can now hit this Ada and once again get everyone injured, which is very, very powerful for us. But unfortunately, we whiffed the hit. We decided to just go for the pickup and just deal with it. And with this, we should have a survivor out the game. Because we knew that everyone was lurking around this area, that top gen there that we're looking at, it shouldn't have any more progress on it. We know that everyone ran just around here. And that's another down. So from that, we basically were able to deduce where most of these survivors were. And maybe even send a guards to go chase the Ada. Which indeed we did. As the guard is invisible after the first 10 seconds, I decided to hide it just around the corner of Shack. So actually might end up just running back into it. As you can see here, even without any gen defense, by constantly getting these survivors in chase with us and the guards, we're able to stop them from doing gens and then force them to heal. And now we'll see how well Knight does in probably one of the strongest Shacks in the game, just due to that bush. What I really should have done is not entertain this chase, and instead just go for the guard, which I finally do here. And Ada has unfortunately run away, so we decided to check on the hook over here. And we know that the last survivor has to be pushing that gen in the corner. Because we know that the survivor who was on that gen would have to wait 5 seconds in order to actually go for the unhook, we can basically be pretty safe to say that survivor's not going to be going for that hook anytime soon. And with that, we probably are going to confirm our second kill of the game. Ada will not be able to reach it, luckily for us. Ada does do a death hard BC, and I end up swinging it anyways, but that's fine. Unfortunately, I lose where the Ada went. She probably just went to Shack. You should have predicted. And with that, the game's pretty much just wrapped up. We're going to get a 3k. And we're doing that. As we're seeing survivors, we're actually just doing these gens while injured. Which is actually another reason why Eruption was a very, very good perk. Because if I had Eruption during this game, that Nia would have been kicked off that gen. And because she's injured, she can't heal. And she won't be able to do that gen progression, which means we actually get a lot out of that perk. As you can see, the reason why it's a very good perk. Once again, I think about entertaining the chase as an M1 killer, and I remember I have a guard. Thanks to the can effect, we're going to have another 30-second chase on this Ada, which is brilliant for us. But even if she goes for the pallet, we basically pin her between us and the can effect, and we finally get another hit. You can see here the knight can be very, very scary, especially when you're pinned, and especially when the knight knows where you're going to be going and can drop the guards. I'm sure that we'll be seeing in the future, when I get much better at the game, I'll be able to tell where survivors are running off to, and which loops they're probably going to do. Here I just checked, just in case there's a hatch offering. We can see here another offering to get sent to this map, which is brilliant for us. Hatch didn't spawn there. Now we have to figure out where that survivor was. If we knew that she was at that top gen there, and she knew that someone was hooked over here, she'll probably be heading to this corner of the map, and we do indeed see them. Now with a bit of listening, we can drop the guard directly where she's going to be, and get her in chase with the assassin no less. A very, very fast guard, fastest that we have, but very, very short time. She dead hards it, and we whiff the swing because we suck. But a medium bolt, we get her there. As always, I normally just let the last survivor survive through hatch. So that's going to be end of this gameplay. We see here that we could have had way, way better. We could have had much better guard placement. Some of our guards didn't really get the hits that we needed to. And we definitely could have pressured the gens a little bit better. Especially in that middle part of the game. Especially at the beginning with that Elodie who was by the car. If we had actually stuck with our prediction, we could have gotten her there, and maybe gotten another injure very, very beginning, close to the beginning of the game, which could have turned the entire game around. Having multiple people on death hook normally makes survivors play a lot differently. I've noticed when survivors on death hook, they tend to hide a bit more, and they're normally a bit cautious around your terror radius, which works quite well. And here we find the hatch. We've got the word. We gotta go on the way. Not without a little present from a guard. There you go. If I was being really, really dodgy, I could have used the knight's tech, which isn't more of an exploit to be honest, and is an exploit, to actually break to close the hatch in front of her face from there. Here we go. 2 games on the Garden of Joy, a very, very strong map for survivors, some very, very strong loops back to back to back. We would be able to do it and even get a win, which is fantastic for us. I hope you guys enjoyed these videos, and I hope you guys tune in more for some more Knight gameplay. I'm probably one of the only really committed Knight mains on YouTube. I do hope to post some more videos, and I'll see you guys around.